Well, hello, it's Mary, and today I wanted to talk to you about 4 things that will help you on your aging gracefully journey. So, I started to notice I was getting older when I was in my early 40s, and it really became a bit of a wake-up call because at the same time I was suffering from a health crisis that turned into a health spiral down for me. So it really took that health crisis for me to get serious about my true health care. In the process, I found that creating a healthy lifestyle also helped me to look and feel younger. So it was a bit of a double win there. Hi, I'm Mary Wallace. I'm a holistic health and wellness coach, and I'm Amazon author of the book Lifestyling Wellness. I'm founder of the Ladies Aging Gracefully at 40 and Beyond on Facebook, and I'm the creator of the Better Any Age method. So as I was mentioning a minute ago, I did suffer a health crisis that really was a bit of a health spiral because it seemed to just go on for years, and I just had a really hard time getting my arms around it. And I remember a family member saying to me, you're losing your health. It was all very scary. There were a lot of doctor's appointments and prescriptions and tests and whatnot, and nothing really seemed to solve it. So I started to work on other approaches. Eventually led me going back to school. Coming out of all of that work was a life-changing discovery for me and also for my clients as well, and has really become the bedrock of what I do today. So the first thing that, as I mentioned, is my book published on Amazon. The book is called Lifestyling Wellness. Here's what it looks like. What I would like to show you in here is there's a concept called Kaizen out of the automotive industry. Years ago, those of you that have spent some time in corporate will probably remember all of the Kaizen, and Joyner was a big company that did a lot of continuous improvement. What I'm doing is I'm borrowing that concept, as many businesses did and as the automotive industry did, and I'm suggesting that through continuous improvement we can make a lot of change over the course of time. And borrowing again from Kaizen, I would also say that if you were to just make even say a 1% improvement every year in the direction you wanted to make change, how much change that could make over time. And so I want to just show you a real quick graph to give you an idea. So here's the graph in the book. The idea is that we have percent change here and time going out in this direction. And so you can see just how steep the curve is on that graph if I were to make a 1% change over, say, 20 years. So this is a journey. Oftentimes I hear people say, gee, I haven't gotten the change I wanted. And people expect that maybe they're going to get change immediately when it's taken them 10, 15, 20 years to get where they are today. So keep that in your mind, that the change does take some time, and it is a journey, but we can also start to see some changes pretty rapidly once we start to dive in and start to work on the right things. Way 2 is having a system approach. And the system approach is the connectivity of how all of the things that you work on have connectivity. And I like to think of it almost as dropping a pebble in a pond. So you can imagine if you were to drop that pebble and you would see that kind of the waves ripple out, right? Let it drop in. Think about how that actually works. Well, imagine that is how things happen when you start to make changes in how you approach your wellness. So we want to use that system approach to make it easier to get where we need to go. And in my case, I come at it from a holistic standpoint, so I'm looking at things like food and lifestyle and mindset, and I'm putting all of those things together into a comprehensive program so that we can start to move the needle and get in the direction we want to go. So we're looking at stress management and spirituality and what do I eat, what don't I eat, and all of those things need to come together into a program in a way that you can actually apply it. So that is way number 2. It's having that system approach. Way number 3 is progress, not perfection. And what I mean by that is that progress and perfection are oftentimes linked. People feel like they need to constantly have the progress happening all the time. And if there's a setback, it geeks people out. So we want to understand that sometimes we have a setback, or as I say with my clients, we call it a wobble. And we learn to plan for those wobbles, but we also use that as a way to kind of help our mindset so that we stay out of overwhelm. Because if we get into overwhelm, we start to not be able to make the progress we need, and that often will lead to things like shaming ourselves and why can't I do this? And every time I do this, things fall apart. I'm not able to stick with it. And so that shaming is really just not productive. So we wind up falling off of our plan. Instead, what we want to do is we want to have consistency with the patterns and the routines that we build that work. And so putting that all together, as I was talking about a minute ago, and keeping that approach of progress but not perfection. So that would be way number 3. Way number 4 is that we want to partner with our body and let our body have a voice in what's going on with us. Because so much of the time we're so busy doing all of the things, right? What's really important, and take it from a type A personality who is a recovering type A personality, because there are times when I just feel it and I just have to really grab myself and say, get back on earth. You spun up, get back to earth. So what if your body wrote you an email? Use this as an opportunity, sit down quiet for a few minutes and jot yourself this note about what would your body say to you if it could get a voice. Because I know we all have a lot of chatter, and some people call it a monkey mind, where we're just having a really hard time quieting our minds down. But there's also a voice deeper inside. It took me a lot of years before I could actually learn to hear it. But the first thing I had to do was become aware of it, and I learned how to listen to it. I started to get these interesting kinds of things. And so if you were to sit down and write that email to yourself, what do you think your body might say to you? Maybe it would say something like, I'm really tired and I could really use some more sleep here. Or it might say, I'm hungry for some real food. And by the way, all of the junky food and chemicals that are coming with it really don't make me feel good. I don't like all those chemicals that are in my food. Or it might say something like, I feel bad when you say ugly things about me. That's a hard one sometimes for us, but I think we often get some self-talk going that's not productive. And so we need to disintermediate that and stop it and say, you know what, stop it. That's not how we roll here anymore. Instead, and it might also say, I need to be loved too. So by this is kind of the spirituality piece coming in here in ways, and we all have different ways of engaging in all of these different things, and there may be some other things that are coming up for you as I talk. So I would encourage you to think about whatever those things come up, maybe jot those down. So those are 4 ways, and I'll just review them real quickly. The way number 1 was Kaizen, which was 1% improvement over time makes a huge improvement longer term. More is better. Way number 2 is having a system approach that gives us connectivity between all the different things that we're doing. It's that whole pebble in the pond journey that we were talking about. Way number 3 is understanding about the concept of progress but not perfection, because we are going to have setbacks and wobbles. Things are going to come up, we're going to feel overwhelmed, but we're going to say, nope, we're going to come back to earth, we're going to ground ourselves, we're good. Way number 4, partner with our body. Let it have a voice. Begin to listen to that. Not the chastising, sabotaging, nasty self-talk and chatter that goes on, but the voice deep down inside that says something like, I could really go for some exercise, or I know I need to stop eating that junk food, and then actually do something about it. So those are the 4 ways that will help you on your Aging Gracefully journey. And I would encourage you to think about whether or not anything came up for you as we were chatting today. And if something did, maybe start there and start to work on that. It might be sleep. It might be that sugary snack that you say, you know what, I know I'm consuming too much of that. I know I'm going to stop. I'm going to start cutting back now. So my call to action for you, because there's always a call to action for you, is that there's a lot of moving parts here, but it is doable. And I've been at this for 20 years now, but I'm here to help you do that in a whole lot less time than 20 years. There's a lot to it, but you can do it. You can take it in steps, and remember that the little changes make a big difference, but big changes help even more. So, and the other thing, remember that you can't get to your goals unless you get started. So get started today, right? Think about things in a way that you can actually make them work for you on a consistent basis, because that is where you're going to actually start to see the big changes and that ripple effect. If you need support on your journey, I'm here for you. Keep an eye out for my upcoming masterclass. It's called Ways to Manage Aging and Even Start Reversing Its Appearance Without Expensive Creams, Potions, and Procedure. Thank you for listening today. And if you had anything you wanted to say, feel free to drop it in the chat box. One of the things that I love about asking people to drop something in the chat box is you want to cement that in and know that, hey, I've got this. It's not, made an impact in your day, and help to keep that top of mind for you. So with that, I'm going to say so long for now. Take care, and I appreciate you listening, and I will catch you next time. Be well.